Everything is spooky.
We are live. All right. Hello, everyone.
We
Welcome
live?
to episode number 24 of the Link Cable Gaming Podcast. So thank you for joining us
Represent.
on this
Woo, woo, woo. Almost
post-Halloween
100.
day stream, I guess. So I'm Alex. I'm your host. I'm joined by the usual gang, Zai and Kevin. Hey, guys. How are you?
Great.
Hello.
Is everybody transitioned
Doing good.
from Halloween to Christmas stuff now?
Yeah.
Holiday, snowman, and all
Not
that
yet. I'm still on the Halloween,
still
guys.
hanging in
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've been seeing people putting up Christmas trees and snowmen and all kinds of crap in their yard already.
I mean, it's snowing here, so
It's too early for that.
But I still I want to watch. And I said this on stream yesterday. So I played Splatoon 2 last night, and I was like, I always get into Halloween too late. Like I always get into like the Halloween season, or like the mood for Halloween, like a week before it, and then like I just want more Halloween. I want to keep like being spooky.
You know, speaking of like holidays and stuff, it must like for you guys, you've already had Thanksgiving, so that you've already crossed that one.
No, we have U.S. Thanksgiving too. Don't worry about that.
So you guys do stuff for that?
Oh yeah, we definitely incorporate that.
I just like having turkey again. I don't mind.
Oh, that's so because like to me, I'm like, oh, like Halloween is the beginning of the holiday season, and then Thanksgiving we gotta bless you if that was a sneeze, or if you're seizuring, please get home.
Yes.
Because we have Halloween starts, and then like a couple weeks, and then we go right into Thanksgiving. Then it leads into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then December is just like a whole month of eating a lot and celebrating all kinds of things. So
yeah,
I
think for us, like U.S. Thanksgiving is the mark of
everything's pretty chill.
You need to start shopping though. If you got gifts for the holidays coming up, you better like do your shopping, or like just for yourself. If you don't celebrate Christmas, just start shopping. I know, I'm already like
time to buy stuff.
I've got like all these things on my to buy list, and I'm like, oh, Cyber Monday, you're coming, and like so many stores this year, I think are going to not want to get everyone in the building because of
better sales online.
Pandemic. Yeah, so Cyber Monday I think is going to be really crazy this year.
I looked at Best Buy's ad for like games and stuff that are coming out in the U.S. and like they have some pretty good deals of things. It's like games is like okay, I've kind of wanted, but I've been kind of waiting for. That medieval game is going I think $5, which I'm like, oh, I would like to play that. It's kind of a cute little fun game, but I didn't want to pay $30 for it. I think an NHL 21 is on sale for $23. I think is what I saw it for. And I haven't got that yet, so I'm like, okay, we're doing good here. So I have my own little wish list.
What are you getting it on?
See, that's an issue because it's not cross-play, and I've got friends that play on PlayStation and friends that play on Xbox. So I will probably get it on Xbox.
Okay.
One of the buddies on my hockey team
Get it on Xbox, I'll get it on Xbox.
Okay, that works, because that's what I was planning on getting it for. My buddy on my hockey team plays on there. NHL 21.
NHL 21.
Oh, nice.
Oh man.
I haven't picked it up either, and I've been itching to play a good hockey game. It's the only hockey game.
It's like, what other choices you got?
What, 2K's not still making hockey games? They haven't made one in like 10 years.
So sad.
But yeah, so I think looking ahead, we'll get into this in a bit, but I think the next month is going to be pretty wild for games because I don't know if you guys have heard, but there's a couple of new things coming out next week that
there is?
I think we're all it's breaking news. The PlayStation 5 and Series XS come out next week.
You just heard it here, folks, on Link Cable.
Yeah, breaking news. So I guess we'll go through what we've been playing this week, and then we'll jump right into our thoughts on, I guess, next gen. And we're also going to cover, what else are we talking about this week? We're going to talk about Cyberpunk being delayed because as the seasons change, Cyberpunk gets delayed. It's one of those facts of life that we all have to deal with.
Have you guys, really quick before we dive into that, but have you guys been following all the memes about the guy's Twitter that tweeted at like, oh, it's
everything.
Oh my
The
god.
drama around it has been really
Yeah,
good.
for people who have not been paying attention to that really quick, there was a guy who said, "Is this the last time you're delaying the last delay? I'm taking off work or something." And CD Projekt Red was like, "Yep, we're done. We promise," or something. And then they delayed it again. And I just feel like he's just been sharing that a meme all over, being like, "What the fuck, guys? I needed to have this."
Wouldn't be.
It was pretty bad. Pretty funny.
So we'll talk about Cyberpunk. We'll talk about some drama that's happening at 343 with Halo Infinite, which also was delayed. And then we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened, which is actually a bit of good news because I think it was a pretty good Direct. So we'll talk about all of that in a bit. But going over, what did you guys play this week? Who wants to kick off the show?
One of you go first because I'm trying to add the chat back in here.
I'll kick off the show.
Cool, go for it.
Yeah, let's do it. So this week, actually, like I was mentioning up in the last week's podcast, was all the Halloween events that I can possibly get to. So I've been playing a lot of Gwent and a lot of Guild Wars because I am officially, well, actually, after the podcast, I will have one last raid to do with my raid team in Destiny 2, and then we will be officially done for the entire. And then I'm uninstalling and having to reinstall it when Beyond Light comes out because they're removing like 50 gigs. So it's going to go down from a 120 gig game down to like a 75 gig game. So this week has...
they're not just pushing that? You have to like actually uninstall and reinstall? They're not just pushing an update that gets rid of it?
No, because it's not just dropping new content. They're removing almost a good third of the game, if not maybe more.
Okay.
Because they're removing about 4 planets, and each planet's all the strikes that were on those planets, all the missions, all the exotics, and they're retooling some weapons so that, like, let's just say it was locked exclusively to a quest step in that planet. Well, it's going to be, you're not going to probably be able to get that gun or that armor piece until, like, they reintroduce the map, like, way down the line. But for some things, like getting certain skins on them, they're redistributing the ways you have to do that. So they're just removing basically the 4 planets, all the maps that come with them, and retooling some things, and basically making you install like a brand new game. Beyond,
wow.
Yeah, Beyond.
That's a big change.
Yeah, Beyond Light is a huge dramatic change. Like there's 10 planets in Destiny 2. Right now, Earth, the 4 that are going to get removed. The other ones are the Dreaming City and Tangled Shore. So there's 7 in total, and they're removing 4. They're removing. Oh, and the moon, and they're removing. And there's the moon. So they're removing literally half of their map.
The moon is gone.
Moon is gone.
The moon is gone. Goodbye, moon.
Goodbye, moon. So yeah, it's a huge content change.
Are they getting close with all this, like moving forward to Destiny 3? Because they jumped from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2 pretty quick.
They jumped from Destiny 1 to 2 very quickly, and that's because, like, Destiny 1...
People not like
no, not that it sucked. It just... Its hardware was really old, and it was tied to the 360 and the PS3. So they couldn't keep releasing stuff for Destiny 1 with stuff coming out at the same time for the 360 and Xbox, and... PS3 and the 360. So like didn't drive well. So Destiny 2 is essentially the platform where, or at least the client where they're just not going to be a Destiny 3. Everything is just going to be improved on, or they're going to do stuff like that. So it's been a busy Halloween week. I haven't had to touch Destiny 1 because I'm all done for it, and now it's just random Halloween stuff.
Nice. I did have a question for you, Zay. I wanted to ask you, because last week we couldn't talk about this game.
Oh!
And now we can.
Oh!
How is/was Watch Dogs Legion?
Watch Dogs Legion, since the preview and since it came out, I believe you can go check out the score and the full review on the website. I have been enjoying it so far. Playing more and more of it, I even feel like maybe I was too generous on repeat playthroughs and having like more of an extended time onto the game. But I'm comfortable where it's kind of sitting at. So Watch Dogs Legion, it honestly feels like a bunch of Scooby-Doo gang kids in like Van just going around and fighting the system and fighting the man. I don't know how better else to like describe it. Like,
Okay.
okay, hold on, Alex. I don't know if this was ever a show in America. I think it was Canadian. Alex, you remember the show? It was like a cartoon. These like 5 kids and they're like spies. There was like number 1 and number 2. They're like
No.
little kid. That's how the show kind of feels, and they're like fighting the system. It's just
Number 1 and number 2.
yeah. Story. I think
No, I
it
don't
was
remember
called.
this.
It was just
What was it called?
just an old cartoon, but yeah, door or kids in the neighborhood. Shit.
This is a cartoon.
Anyways, it kind of had. Yeah,
is it
it
those
kind of
kids in
had
the
that
treehouse,
feel.
the
It
like
just was
Operation or Secret something? I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I do know what you're talking about. Codename Kids Next Door. Is that it?
Codename Kids Next Door.
Is that it?
Yes, it is.
Never heard
Michael.
of it.
I kind of
Kevin,
know. I
thank
don't know
you.
why I knew that. I went from thinking you're crazy to going, oh wait, yeah, I know what show you're talking about.
Thank you. Relatable. So it's these like basically bunch of kids in like a clubhouse, and they're
Mhm.
like fighting the government or the system, and it totally reminds me of that. It's just I'm like, everyone is just either in the game they have literally no life. There's nothing about any character.
We have nothing to
Other-
do. We're just hanging
Other
out.
than they're just chilling, and if they're not talking about the clubhouse, they're talking about how bad London is. If they're not talking about how bad London is, they're talking about wanting to be in your clubhouse. Like, that's it. You know? I don't know if a character likes to drink like orange juice, or I don't know if they have like fears or needs or anything, but they're just really one-dimensional. I find a lot of the characters, but Watch Dogs Legion, like the stuff, the characters may fall flat. I found, boy,
Mhm.
is there just a ton of stuff to do, and different builds to try. That is what really like I enjoyed the most. Like, like I'll give it. There's an interesting system. If you want to play the game as a stealthy character, you can, because once you pull up a weapon on someone like a gun or a pistol or a baton or something lethal, they respond to you with lethality. So
Okay.
DedSec, your organization, has a huge don't kill policy. And one of the like ways you can kind of change the group is to have more of like a kill policy by being like very confrontational and shooting up people, or instead of arming the traps to paralyze or stun, you can arm them to kill. And once you basically go do that, everyone's on alert and everyone has guns on you. So it's essentially a shootout. But that won't happen unless you don't kill them. So that's a really, really cool mechanic for people
Okay.
who like, let's just say you want to be a stealth character, like a spy archetype, and shuffle your way through places. You know, it's a little difficult to do that when everyone else has guns. It's unfair, right? So their method was kind of like, if you want guns, you're gonna get like a lot of guns on you. But if you don't want guns and you want to play more stealthily, you can do that, and the AI reacts to that. So if you're playing more stealthily, they'll have more like their turrets become harder to hack, and to arm things becomes more intricate to do the actual hacking mechanic. So
Gotcha.
yeah, so it's definitely it's really tailored to how you kind of want to play, which I found was very, very good. Other than that, and graphics, okay, maybe it's because it's running on my Xbox, but my Xbox has run some really nice stuff. But I don't
Which
know.
Xbox do you have?
Kind of. I have the Xbox One white,
The
the white edition one, the 1 terabyte,
Okay.
the S, and you know it Watch Dogs did not look fantastic on it. Everything kind of looked very hamburger face, you know. But
trying to
I
see what
really
the-
want to see how Legion looks once I get a Series X in my hands, and
Yeah, the difference.
you know the difference,
Yeah.
because I feel like I noted that in the review itself. I'm like, I am playing on an Xbox One, an Xbox One, not a series, or not an Xbox One X like they're asking for. So I'm gonna wait
Yeah, I wonder.
to
I'm trying
see
to
how
look
it
it up to
looks.
see like what's the frame rate and what's the
Oh,
what it actually
Alex,
runs at.
Evan, I have seen how Watch Dogs looks on the Series X, with some of the pre-release material and the differences they showed, and my God, it's a jump.
Yeah, so it looks like
It's
I'm looking at
Yeah.
a preview.
it's
It shows
dramatic.
it runs at 30 frames, but it doesn't tell me what the
Mm.
actual. I'm trying to see what the actual resolution is. Oh, here we go.
Like
Xbox One X uses a dynamic resolution with the highest native resolution being found at pretty 3648 by 2052. It's a pretty high resolution, and the
That's
lowest
good.
not
native being
bad.
approximately about 27, so about 1440p ish. PS4 uses a dynamic resolution being found at the highest is 1920 by 1080, and the lowest was 880. Wow, so the PS4 is not doing hot. Xbox One
For
S,
Legion.
yeah. Oh wow, and then this Xbox One S uses dynamic resolution with the highest native being found at. So you're at 900p, which is it's using dynamic resolution, so it's kind of going up and down as you're playing to kind of adjust for what it can handle.
Yeah.
So the highest was 900p, which is kind of common for that system, and then the lowest is 648, which is kind of hard to believe that it even lets
Yeah.
it drop that low. Jeez.
I'm telling you, there are points in the game where I was like, this does not look good, and I just think that's because I'm on an Xbox One. I really want to see how Watch Dogs Legion looks on next gen hardware, because I think it would look much better. But other than that, the gameplay has been a ton of fun. Driving felt really, really arcadey. Like, what am I playing? Midnight Club. Um,
Oh my
you
gosh,
you
that
drive
game's
into
so good.
so good, but it fit its style, right? Here you have like the gameplay and the mechanics are fun, but I felt the driving would be a lot more tangent, like heavy, like in GTA 5 at least, the cars kind of have a bit more weight to them. These ones are like flying in terms of how they're driving. And I'll tell you something, driving in the streets of London on the right side of the road
Ooh, that's gotta
in
be
the game,
trippy.
it is very trippy. I have had so many accidents, and I've run over so many people, and I've had the law chase me so much just because I don't know how to drive these London streets. Like,
I visited London. Uh,
mm,
mm.
that's rough. That's where that's exactly that's exactly what I was thinking, Kevin, because I had that exact same mindset. I was like, which is better in this situation, you know? So
Mhm.
I'm reserving judgment until I see how graphically, at least, it is playing on the Series X when it comes out, and then I will say, okay, graphics wise, or nah. Other than that, please check out the review. Yeah. No, it's you have the game, it transfers over. Yeah,
I think Ubisoft just did.
yeah. Alex, what was huh? I was gonna say Alex knows the name of the feature that is.
Smart
Oh, smart
delivery.
delivery. Thank you. He always brings it up.
I he never shuts up about it.
He never
He's
shuts up
always
about
talking
smart
about
delivery.
smart. Right.
I get funny about that.
You
So,
don't think so far it hasn't been very necessary.
but
And
I
the
know I'll never go back and
game
play 1 and 2 if I play this one, because then it's like going back and playing
never.
a game that sucks, and I'm like, well, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like
So
fun to
the
me.
setting, like the setting of Watch Dogs Legion is more like it's less like film noir like the first one was. And it's definitely more similar to the second game where it's a bit more like the second one I think was in San Francisco. And it was
Okay.
a bit more
Yeah.
like neon and poppy, but this one is like a bit less. It's definitely got like a neon flair to it. I think they took that
Ooh.
inspiration like straight from Watch Dogs 2, and kind of meshed it with like a British aesthetic and less American, which is really interesting. Just to see that
Yeah.
the
It seems
style
like
of Watch Dogs Legion is very specific, and I like it. It's like post-future neon with like a fascisty government oppression kind of atmosphere. It's definitely interesting.
Wow,
I
hardcore.
had heard it described as if 1984 was Cyberpunk. Was how I had heard it described, basically.
That is a good summary for it. It's 1984 Cyberpunk London.
What year is it supposed to take place in? Is it recent or is it far away?
The near future.
Could be tomorrow.
I'm sorry. So everywhere in that damn game, they always say in near future London.
Okay.
I'm like, what fucking year is it? Why does they just keep saying near future London? So it's in the future. Nearly.
Could be tomorrow.
It'd be tomorrow. Yeah.
Cool.
Go check out the
Awesome.
review.
Yeah, check out our review. LinkCableGaming.com had one of the very first reviews. It went up right when we were allowed to put it. So that was really
Thank
fun
you,
to
Alex,
have.
for that.
Thank you for putting it. Thank you for writing it. Look at this little teamwork. I'd give you a high five, but you're 6 hours away from me.
High five.
Kevin, you want to go next?
Yeah. So, didn't have the most exciting week, but I did play a lot of a game, and that game happens to be Hearthstone. And
Hey.
I know it's a little it's a game I'm constantly talking about, I know. But this week they had added a new feature, or actually it might have been the week before, but I didn't play it till this week. They have a new expansion coming out. They announced coming out in December. Or no, November. It comes out in a couple weeks, I think. With new cards, a new set of stuff, the kind of the same old, But they introduced a new game mode called Duels this time around. So before they have like a special, so they have your standard fighting, I don't want to say duels because it's a new mode, but they have a standard like you go against another person mode, and that was otherwise like their main thing. Then they had Arena, which is like you draft a deck through a bunch of random cards. And then last year, I want to say it was, they added a thing called Battlegrounds, which is like an auto battler with cards. And then this year is called Duels, and what happens is you get to pick, they give you, I think it's 4 random heroes with different hero powers, and you get to pick from those which one you want to pick. And then, excuse me, I'm trying not to burp in my mic, but it keeps burping. I'm dying.
Oh man, I'm trying to keep down the spaghetti really bad too.
Oh, that sounds so good. I'm so hungry.
So delicious.
So you pick from these heroes, and then you get to design a deck out of all the cards you have. I think you start at 15 or 16 cards, and then you fight. You have 3. You get to play for 3 losses. So then you play against the guy, at whoever it is, whatever you win or lose, and then they give you 3 more cards. They give you 3 sets of cards, and then you get to pick which ones you want to pick. So you're kind of like building a deck as you play. So every time you win or lose a match, it gives you a new passive ability that you start with. Like there'll be 3 passes. One will be like start the game with 1 extra card in your hand. 1 card, or all your cards cost 1 less mana, or I don't know, something else. So it's like just a different take on the original, just fighting a person in a battle. So the only way to get into that though was you had to either pre-purchase the giant pack for the expansion, or watch somebody on Twitch long enough for them to gift you a random invite. And I got the free invite, so that's how I started playing.
Oh, very nice.
The one cool thing I think is neat about that is I don't know how familiar you guys are with Hearthstone, or I guess this is similar to other card games, right? They have certain like expansions that are considered like in play. So if you're playing just standard Hearthstone, you only get to use the last, I think it's 2 years worth of cards in standard. Everything else goes into another mode called wild, and that means you can use every card that's ever been made. But in standard, you can only use the last 2 years worth of expansions. So if you played the game in 2017, you bought a bunch of cards, you can't use those anymore today in standard play. You can use them in wild play, but not standard, right? Well, people were kind of upset because it's like, well, I bought all these cards, I have these things, I don't know what to do with them. Well, in duels, I mean, let's just say there's 15 expansions. I pulled that number out of nowhere. But they will pick expansion 1, 2, 7, 14, and those are the ones that are all in play for a month and a half to 2 months. So in the game of duels,
that's cool.
it lets you, it's just a different pairing of cards because there's a lot of synergy that probably doesn't get used a lot because, you know, the Naxxramas expansion, which is the first one, never got a lot of play with the Lich King one that came out. So it's kind of neat to see all this different synergy with cards coming in and the randomization of what heroes you can get and the different cards. So yeah, I actually cannot remember the name of the damn expansion. Something about the circus and the old gods or something. So I do look forward to that. Then I had a coupon on the Epic Games Store that was expiring today. I actually had 2, and one of them expired. I kind of forgot to spend it, so I'm a little upset about that. But I ended up buying Pumpkin Jack because I was like, I wanted a good spooky game. I know last week I talked about how I always play Costume Quest, and I'm almost done with it. So I was like, I need another spooky game to play. So I bought Pumpkin Jack.
'Tis the season.
I was yesterday. My Halloween plans kind of fell through. I was just at home. I'm like, I'm gonna play some spooky games. I was like, I'm gonna try to finish up Costume Quest. I'm towards the end. Well, it took me till about 12 in the morning to finish Costume Quest 2 because it was a little bit longer than I thought. So finished that. That's done. And I was like, I'm not tired. It's a weekend. I'm gonna play Pumpkin Jack. So I started that up last night about a little after midnight. And
you got an extra hour.
Yeah, and I forgot about that, so that really threw me off. So I played some Pumpkin Jack, and I really enjoyed that game. I'm decided I will do a review on it now because I didn't know anybody would. I didn't even know this game existed until like 2 days ago. Do you guys have any? Do you guys know what this game is?
Pumpkin Jack.
It's a game that came out of nowhere for me, at least. I only heard about it in a podcast I listened to. They started talking about it, which kind of got me a little bit like, okay, I'll take a look. But it's like a PS2 era, GameCube era platformer. It's very similar to those type of games, like a Jak and Daxter or Crash Bandicoots. Those games that were just like simple platformers that there was a ton of back then. And you play as a guy, Pumpkin Jack, and you're trying to get revenge and kill this other guy, this wizard that's after you. But it's a very simple game, but there's one guy made the whole game. And that right there just blows my mind. Apparently, from what I've heard, one guy made the game and then one guy ported it to all the systems. So I think he made it originally for PC, and then another guy did all the ports to try to get it to everything else. So
Damn.
That's really impressive.
So, and this game,
cool.
I'm actually playing it in my living room because my wife was kind of watching while we were waiting for kids to trick or treat at my house, which didn't actually happen. But the sounds, I got some new speakers for my surround sound in my living room, and just he did such a good job with this game. Like the sounds are cool. There's like I hear crows coming on my sides. Like it's just he did a really good job. And the colors are fun. It's a simple game. It's not anything too crazy. It looks to be about 4 to 5 hours ish. Is what I'm kind of getting the idea because I'm already about halfway through. I'm hoping to finish it probably the next day or two because I keep going. It is a little hard though. I will say there's a few like Crash Bandicoot levels where you're chasing something and the camera's following you, and it is a little bit.
Oh, I hated those levels.
It's not super hard.
No,
it's not Crash hard. I suck at games, so I feel like any other person would have no problem doing this. I'm just not good at games. But it's a lot of fun. So played that. Oh, go on.
Kevin, I had a question for you.
Sure.
If you like that idea, have you ever played Undertale?
So I don't get that game. I believe I own it, and I turned it on, and I was very turned off by it. But
isn't Undertale an RPG?
Yeah,
Kind of.
it's that
Why
weird
would
looking like there's odd
how does it
characters
relate
and
to a 3D platformer? I'm
Because it was
confused.
developed by one
Oh,
person.
one guy. Got you.
oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't get it. I don't get the.
See
The
now,
connection.
I don't even know
Undertale
what
was
that.
developed also by one
I
person.
actually just don't even know what that game is. I've seen it. I've tried to play it, and the first few minutes I was so turned off by what was going on, I never gave it a try. Is it actually a good game? I mean, people
It's
love
a
it. I can't.
phenomenal game.
Everybody loves it.
It's a phenomenal game. I got into it. An old ex of mine was really adamant that I play it. Told me how it would be like phenomenal, and like, no, I don't believe it. So played it, loved it, and pretty much was crying through the whole way.
Really?
And the ending was
Do you know what game gave?
yeah.
Go ahead.
And there's sorry, Alex, but there's just two routes. There's like a pacifist and a genocide route. It's recommended you play pacifist first because playing the genocide route is soul crushing.
I have no idea
Absolutely.
what we're talking about.
Undertale.
But what the heck is genocide have to do with it? Is it like a difficulty?
Just kill everything.
No. It's like a moral pathway. Either you can play the
okay,
game
okay.
not
I see,
killing
the morality
any of
system in the game.
Yeah. You could go through the game by not killing anyone, or you could go through the game by killing every living creature in that game and being the most despicable, awful person in the universe.
I see.
You should check it out.
Okay.
I was gonna say, Kevin, it's really funny that you started Undertale and didn't like it right away, because you know what game I have that feeling with is Earthbound, which is very much an inspiration of Undertale.
Yeah.
I started Earthbound and I was like,
It is.
I started it too, and I could not get into that game either. It just felt so dated.
Earthbound is Earthbound is fantastic.
I appreciate Earthbound. I like the world of Earthbound, but I'm just it's not for me. Actually, like it's off screen, can't really see it, but I'm gonna there. So this the pink one I just revealed for those who are not listening on Spotify. I apologize for those. But there's a mother series thing. So Earthbound 1, 2, and 3 art ones. The pink one right beside the Full Metal Alchemist. So I like the world of Earthbound. I support it, but I'm not. The games are not for me. I get that.
Nice.
Okay, so the last game I played was a game that I randomly bought because I don't know why. It's not a game I would probably even think I would like, but it's a game called Monster Train. Has anybody heard or played this game?
Never heard of this. No.
Oh, I was like, is that sarcasm or is that for real?
I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I've never heard of it either.
Oops. I clicked the wrong one. So let's see if I can fix this really quick because it was really cool.
No, but I've heard of it.
Monster Train on a train, you say? Oh, we may have lost that. Oh no. Hopefully he comes back soon.
Chaos ensued.
Perils of doing a live show.
Yeah, because now our faces are all cut off and we're all like in squares. Oh. Okay, there he is. Anyways.
Okay. Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting. This looks really good. Like I'm watching the video you've got up here, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to play this. Like this looks really good. Yeah. I was gonna ask, is it always Halloween? Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
Uh,
Right. That's really cool.
Please go play this game.
Yep. I am like it's excuse me, I typed it in, I added it to my like go look at this game after the
Well,
show.
it's Zahi. I think you might like
yeah.
because you were talking about like Gwent, and it kind of reminds me of maybe not Gwent exactly, but that type of game where it's not like a crazy in depth card game like Hearthstone or Magic or something, but there's still quite a bit of
Oh my
stuff to
god, they're
do.
so in depth.
So I don't know. I think you both should take a look at this a little bit more. At least watch a video review or read some reviews on Steam
Uh,
because they are ridiculously good.
I'll have to check it out. Honestly, Kevin, like I'm playing Gwent right now, and I like it because it's like simple.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy is like getting me into Hearthstone, and I'm like,
Oh, please get
not
into
Hearthstone, excuse me,
Hearthstone.
Magic,
Oh no, don't do
and
that.
I'm
Don't do
like,
that.
I love Magic.
I I love Magic except for
what
the
is
damn
this?
land. I don't like it. It's
You
dumb.
you do like Magic, Alex?
I love Magic. I love Magic the Gathering.
I used to
I have
play.
only played Arena. I have never touched a Magic card in
No,
physically in real life.
I've done
I've only
both.
played Arena, and
It's
I love
I
it.
okay.
have all of my friends around me are huge Magic fans, and they all have like thick decks, like THICC, like heavy good decks, and
X-rated decks.
finally I can play X-rated decks, and finally I can play with them a little bit. But my God, is Magic way more confusing?
It is, and there's just
Uh,
so
it's
much going
unbelievable.
on. I think it's just because it's been around for so long. There's just so many things they've either tried to do, and it's more complicated because the easy stuff's already been done on old sets, and it's a little crazy. I'm putting up a
And I
video.
think
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
mhm.
No, I was just
No,
saying I was
no,
gonna
I
put up a
think my
Pumpkin
thing
Jack
with
video.
Gwent 2, yeah, let's check it out. Is I, I like the cards because I played the game and I understand them better. Whereas with like Magic and maybe Hearthstone a little because like I'm pretty into Blizzard, but like with Magic, I feel like I don't have like a connection to these cards. Unlike, let's just say when I play, I don't know, Geralt as a card, I'm like, yeah, it's Geralt. I'm gonna wipe out a 9 level monster card. It just makes sense. I don't know.
Mhm.
I feel like I wish I could play Magic the Gathering game, and I feel like I'd understand the cards better.
Play Arena. Arena's really cool for that.
No,
I I played it on PC. I
PC.
don't know.
They don't. I checked already, so I can play with buddies.
Yeah, just looking at it. It You know what it kind of reminds me of is Super Lucky's Tale. I don't know if you guys played that one, but it kind of reminds me of that. Hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Neat. No.
No. Birthday gift ever?
I
I'll
am.
check it out. Eh,
It's fun. All right. I'm in.
Alex has a rum and coke, I think.
Nope, just a Coke with a lemon in it because I made lemon chicken for supper and I had all these lemons already cut up. So
Oh, that's
I made
nice.
I made a Cuba Libre without the Libre part. It's just Coke, Coke and lemon.
Fancy.
Nice, Alex.
Yeah.
You know, fancy with the lemon, right? Alex
Yeah.
has very refined taste.
Mm-hmm. I just put lemons in everything. You got lemon
Puts
chicken.
lemons in everything.
I made veggies with it. And I spritzed some lemon on it with the garlic butter. It was really good. I made a really good
Lemon
supper.
Coke.
Lemon
Coke,
Coke,
yeah.
and then he put garlic in his Coke.
And then
Yeah,
he put
yeah.
garlic in the Coke
He's
too.
got garlic lemon Coke.
All right, Alex, what is
Gross.
your game?
Not a whole lot from me this week. I figured out how to stream again. So if you guys checked out, I streamed Splatoon 2. It was the Splatoween was last night. So it was a rewind of an old Splatfest they did. So I got my streaming set up beside me. I got a little TV right here off to the side. So I'm able to stream a bit easier, and I'm going to do it a lot more. So actually, a bit of a preview right after this show. I'm going to go live and play some Smash Bros. So check that out. But yeah, I played Splatoon 2, and I did bad. I played for about an hour, and I think we won maybe 2 or 3 games out of like I don't know 10. So I didn't do really well, and I personally played awful. So if you guys want to check me just getting really exasperated at Splatoon 2
Correct.
and just like kind of just like going like, oh geez, every like 5 seconds because I keep getting killed. I did that. Oh no. No, I felt like it's on stream right now. I don't know what match this is.
Yeah.
But I did so poorly. I was like so embarrassed by it. Like I turned off the stream once it was done. And I was like, I can't believe I streamed that. That was so bad. No, it was not a really great moment for me. And then the other game I played a whole bunch of, which actually I have a review up on the website right now, is Orange Blood.
Ooh, finally!
Blood,
what is it called?
You were talking about this last week.
Orange Blood. Yeah, you were.
Orange Blood.
I was waiting for this.
It is a game that I wish was better. I did.
Aww.
I can't say it's a great game. It's got this really cool setting. So, like I said, I think we talked about it last week. Yeah, it's a video game.
It's not a great game, but it is a game.
You can check out the full review. I give it a 5.7 out of 10, which is very middle of the road, I think. It's not a very... I don't know. It's one of those games that has this really cool style and this really cool world. So it's a JRPG set in a gangster rap hip hop world.
Okay, you said those were all great things.
Those are really cool. It's really cool in a setting way. Then you actually play the game, and it's like, oh, the combat is boring. It's random encounters. You either have... There's 2 ways to go about things. You can either choose to ignore the really overpowered guns they give you early on and just have to grind for hours on end, or you can pick up those really overpowered guns and never worry about combat. So it's kind of like there's no nice balance to the gameplay. It's
There's no
really
challenge.
no challenge or an overwhelming challenge. Like you have no choice between the two. The menus are some of the worst I've ever. They're just clunky. It reminded me a lot of playing like Final Fantasy VII, where Final Fantasy VII is a great game, but the menus I hated going through them and like making sure I had the right equipment and everything. Like it's a game. This is a 2020 game, and it has these like 1997 problems. And I played it on Switch. I actually got a review copy, so I played it on Switch, and it's very much a game that the Switch is having a hard time running it, and it doesn't make sense. It's like a 16-bit RPG. Like the Switch should run like the Switch plays Breath of the Wild fine. How is it having a hard time? Like the loading times are awful. There was crazy stuttering, and like some places like the buttons would just become unresponsive because the game was having a hard time catching up. So
wow,
I gave it a 5.7
wait to
because
play
there
this
are
one.
some redeeming qualities to it. Yeah, there are some redeeming qualities, mostly in like the art style and the story and the world are really cool. Like the soundtrack is really good. It's like this lo-fi hip hop with a bit of techno to it. So for an RPG, you're just listening to this like kind of like the whole way through. It's really cool. But yeah, I have a hard time, and it's only 7 hours long, which for a JRPG, I'm like that's kind of sad. I want,
or maybe
like,
it's good because it wasn't very good.
well, yeah, but like it was rushed. Like the story is over in like in no time at all, and I don't know. I wanted more from it. Like I said it in the review. I wanted more from this game. Like I feel like there's a cool idea here, and they just didn't really make a very good game out of it. So yeah, I played a bit of that. Well, I finished it, and it's 5.7 out of 10 according to linkcablegaming.com. So that's what it is. So that was my week. Not a whole lot. I'm going to play Smash Bros tonight, so if that counts as part of the week. I'm finally going to check out Steve. So I have not played Steve in Smash Bros at all. The reason is I wanted to do it on stream, and I had to remember how to stream, or not remember how to stream, but figure out how to stream with the new YouTube backend. So now that that's done, check out me playing Smash Bros after this if you want. I think it'll be fun. But that's it. That's my week. That's what I did. Cool. So I guess we can jump into our topics of the week to kind of go over, unless you guys had like. Do you want to hear me rant about Orange Blood more?
No, please, no. Oh, Zahi, we can't hear you. You muted? I see his mouth moving. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
I still can't hear you.
Uh-oh. Now he sounds like a...
Oh, no.
We're good now.
Yeah, I can hear you now, but there's like this
So that was my bad.
Okay.
We're trying this new thing in our Zoom meetings for class that we don't interrupt people. Is that we're just muting each other. So I'm like, I wonder how well this is gonna work on a podcast where like we have to like be a little bit more talky. Not as good. You have to be really fast. But no, I was gonna say, Alex, I love hearing you rant about Orange Blood and just how games are just not up to standard. So you can do that all the time, buddy.
That's why I started the website, so I could do this all day. I like doing this. And I want to deliver endless amounts of content into the world of me and now you guys just being like, Orange Blood. Bleh. Or like pukey blood. Yeah.
Like pukey blood.
Oh, I'm so sorry I said I didn't want to say that. I was not feeling very creative.
It's okay, buddy.
Oh,
okay.
I'm not calling the episode that.
All the creative content from Alex went into the review for Orange Blood.
Yes. I like to think my writing is a lot better than that. So let's jump into things. So the first thing I wanted to talk about, I'm really happy you said what you said about Watch Dogs, because I think a lot of it applies to Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed again.
Absolutely.
So CD Projekt Red put out their now infamous yellow tweet. Every time
oh god, I hate that
every
thing.
time they delay, it's just yellow tweets. And so did you see? I think it was Axis put out a tweet for like one. I think they have a new Guilty Gear game coming out, and they were like they put a yellow background and they said Guilty Gear is still releasing on time, and that was their whole tweet. And they used the same yellow background.
It's such
that
a
was like
for people.
that is perfect. But yeah, so yeah, Cyberpunk delayed. It's not a very long delay. It's December 10th now. But where I think we were talking about like how Watch Dogs has to be a game that runs on the old VCR model Xbox One all the way through to the Xbox Series X. I think that's what's holding Cyberpunk up at this point. That they're making this game on a console that came out in 2013, which is the weakest one of them all, is the original Xbox One model, and then they have to make it on. I think they had said 9 platforms is what they're releasing it on day one.
Yeah, because
which is
Stadia,
an insane amount of things. Like it's so. I don't know. Are you guys surprised it got delayed? Are you sad? Are you happy? What's
up? So I was sad. That was my initial like, oh no, how can this be? But then right after that had happened, Blizzard announced the new release date for Shadowlands, which is going to be now in the end of November. So I was like, well,
instantly happy.
At least I've got, because I was worried that was going to come out the same time, and then I would have some life decisions to make. But now I know that I'll be playing Shadowlands. I will have plenty of time to level my characters through Shadowlands now, so I feel pretty good about that. So it still sucks, but
hold on. But in regards to them, exclusively in regards to them delaying, how do you feel about that?
Oh,
forgetting the benefits that it gives out to Shadowlands.
I think my biggest concern, like I said, was me personally. So for them delaying it to spend more time to make it better, I don't care. I don't think anyone actually cares, other than the fact that they want to play it. If they were delaying it to make the game worse, then yeah, I'll be mad. But they're not. They're making it to be a better experience for us when it comes out.
And I think too, like the fact that it's a 3-week delay, maybe not like 2-week delay, is not. It's not being pushed to 2021, and it's not being pushed to like some nebulous time. Like, oh, it's Q1, Q2, 2021.
Right.
It's hey, December 10th. There's a date. It's gone gold. We know it's gone gold. So
yeah, but all
right
going
now,
gold means is they're putting it on a disc. I mean, they're still like trying to do hot fixes for day one, and I mean that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. And it's really funny too, because I think they delayed it because the day one patch is just that's what's now slowing it down, and it has to be a patch that works on, like I said, 9 different platforms and with very different performance specs. So I think I'm not surprised. Let's put it that way. Zaggy, what about you? What are your feelings? You've been hit by a lot of delays this year for games that you've been.
I've been hit by a significant.
Yeah.
Personally, I've. Like there have been a lot of things that have been delayed, especially things I very much like and did not want to be delayed. You know, and Cyberpunk for me, especially more than any other than Halo, more than any other game. My brother used to play Cyberpunk back when I was younger, so I loved it's one of the reasons I like Cyberpunk as a genre.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I don't know much about it. I when I heard it was like a tabletop game, right? Is that what it is originally?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I heard that, it's kind of neat.
So it'd be cool. Like I'd get to see it with some friends. And then when I heard the announcement when they said in 2013, I feel like I lost my marbles more because I was like, oh my god, this is like a franchise like I no one knows about. And then now to get like them to say it's another 3 weeks away, I'm so come on, man. I think it's memeable for sure, but I think like for people who like three delays, no, four, one early this year, tentative Q3 November 12th, and now December 10th.
Yeah.
Like man, I get it. The pandemic is. But
here's the problem: is they know they can get away with it because nobody is going to say, "Oh, I'm not interested in this game anymore" because it's been delayed. Nobody. So they can do it. They can get away with it because they've created this pedigree from the last Witcher game, and they've created. And I think they're. It
is an absolute pedigree.
I think it's such a good thing for them because I think it's a bad thing because I think they're so worried if something comes out with this game and it's not completely perfect and they know expectations are through the freaking roof for this game, they
Yeah.
know it's got to be
Roof,
perfect.
man.
So
I
this game's
I
being
don't
talked
know
about as the
any
greatest
other
game alive,
game.
basically.
I don't know any other game that is this demand right now. Honestly, for real, Cyberpunk, I would say it's probably the hottest game here. And what has been bigger than the news of Cyberpunk in general? The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, maybe.
Final Fantasy
Oh,
7.
7 remake. I don't think any
I
of
don't
those
even
have
think that
been
was as
as
big because I
hotly.
feel like that's still a
Yeah.
niche audience. Like people were all screaming about that, but I
Yeah.
think this is a game everybody who's a gamer is going to be playing. I don't know so much about.
Well,
I don't know.
I think this is your
This is
Final
the-
Fantasy 7 of now. This is your
Yes,
Ocarina
I
of
agree
Time
with
of
that.
now.
That I agree with.
This is the and the thing that all those games we listed, so Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, Final Fantasy 7, the biggest difference I find between those games and Cyberpunk is that those games are backed by giant companies. You've got Sony, you've got Square Enix. CD Projekt Red is a much smaller company than them.
Right.
They are
Significantly.
Yeah, they are publishing the game, they're developing the game. They don't have
Beautiful.
a big giant mega corporation funneling cash in. Obviously they have investors, I'm not saying they don't, but there is a less of a security net when you are doing this yourself. And I mean, Witcher 3 was an amazing game. It is probably game of the generation if we're at that point of having these conversations. It is a game that has changed gaming when it
Has.
It is their only great game.
I also
CD Projekt Red has made one great game. Witcher 1 and Witcher 2 were fine. They were not transcendent.
No, Witcher 1 was bad. Witcher 2 was good. Witcher 3 was great.
Okay.
Yeah,
Witcher,
I would say that way.
I think
It's
them. Yes, very much. But I think that them delaying and delaying these games or this game, I think them doing that over and over has set a precedence because they are top dog. And I think now everybody else is kind of like, well, if CD Projekt Red's going to be delaying all these games, I think it's okay for Studio A, B, C, D, blah, 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 to do it. Because I wonder if a game with that much pedigree, I do. I think they're setting the standard. And I think that because they have the pedigree and the history and the reputation to be whatever, and if they're allowed to do it and not take crap, I think these other companies are kind of getting away with it, being able to delay. Plus, blaming pandemic is also helpful. But I wonder if this is a very good move for everybody in the industry or a very bad move, because it's either killing
hype.
Well, it's killing hype, but is this going to mean we're going to have a stacked 2021 now? Is that what we're pushing towards? Because so many things have just been pushed?
So many things got pushed into 2020 back from 2019.
Very true. Into 2020.
Watch Dogs Legion got pushed back almost a year.
Yeah.
It was supposed to come out last September.
I wish we could see what it would have looked like if it came out then versus what it actually ended up with.
On the original Xbox.
Yeah.
I highly doubt
it runs in black and white. It's 2D.
Black smoke coming out of the thing.
It's actually a 2D shooter, and
delays are not new. Breath of the Wild got delayed 1,000 times. It was originally supposed to come out in 2015 on the Wii U. And I remember the first time, and I'm seeing all the internet freaking out about Cyberpunk being delayed. I remember the first time a game I was really looking forward to got delayed, and having that moment of how could they do this to me? It's not fair. And it was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Super Smash Bros. Brawl got delayed it felt like 100 times. It only got delayed 2 or 3 times.
100 times.
But it was always being delayed, and Nintendo was very much oh, we're pushing it back.
It's very cheeky.
Well, they would push it back a few months and not tell you when. They were like, oh yeah, spring. And it was when is spring? So I remember that frustration back then of this game that I am just dying to play being pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. And I get it. It's frustrating. But this is a company that has made... I think they've made more than 4 games, but they've really only made 4 games. So,
Surely.
it's understandable. I think they are And I mean, like, I don't work for CD Projekt Red, obviously. I work for like Cable Gaming, and I'm very happy for it. But I feel like they've been like this whole development has been in over their heads. I feel like they've made a lot of promises with this game that I'm just not seeing them meet already. Whether it's in things that were supposed to be in the game that they're like kind of walking back some old comments, or even just the release date. I think the release date thing is just a sign of it's bigger than they wanted it to be, and it's harder to make games that size, especially when you're launching it on 9 platforms on a single day. I can't even think of the last time I heard of a game launching on 9 platforms on a single day.
What do you guys think? Do you think like this?
I can't even think of that as a thing.
Do you think it's going to be this amazing game, or do you think it's gonna come out and this is a game where we're like, oh, it's fun, but like the level of like,
okay,
it comes out and it's like a Watch Dogs Legions, where yeah, it was a really good game, but it's not something like you were like super that excited to play, but you're like, oh, it was better than I thought, and I really enjoyed it. Do you think that's what it's going to be like? It was better than I thought. Or do you think
absolutely not?
We'll be doing this in a year, and then Cyberpunk will be like, I'm still playing this game. I love it. It's so good. This is like, is it like Skyrim where it's going to have legs and walk, and Grand Theft Auto and all these other games that just keep being brought up and talked about even though they're hundreds of years old, it seems like? Or is it like a really good game you play and then we don't talk about it anymore? Like, what do you think?
I don't think so, actually. I think it's going to be... I don't think it's going to be something like The Last of Us, where everyone had like they were discussing it for the ending or for the story or for like not liking it. I think it's going to be The Witcher over for people. I think it's going to be... I think no one expected The Witcher to be what it was until it did.
Yeah, and then everyone's like,
and then
yeah, that's true.
But with that expectation, I think everyone is expecting it to be amazing, and I think it's going to be better than that, actually.
Wow.
I actually think they're going to beat my expectations of how good it is.
Okay.
Hypothetical, like, I'm sorry, Alex, I didn't mean that. I just like if it comes out right now and I'm not angry that it's been delayed and I go in with like a fresh head, I think the game will wow me personally. That level of hype.
So you're saying instead of it coming out, it's hyped so much and it can't live up to its own hype, you think it's going to come out with so much hype it can't be bad because everybody's just too hyped? Yes?
I don't know. I don't think everyone's going to be hyped because I don't think it's going to be false hype. I think it's going to be just a really, really good product.
I don't even know like what this game is going to be still. I've watched some videos, I understand something, but like I don't really know what's going on. I'm just like, okay, shit's happening. This is shiny.
GTA on steroids.
That's just kind of what I imagine it being like, but I'm like, what is it? Like, what is it? Is it just like a single player game we're done? Is there like a living, breathing world that we're going to be living in? Is there online aspects? Like, I know nothing. I'm so clueless to this game because I feel like it's changed so many times. I don't know what our finished product is going to look like at all. I know a few. I feel like it's going to be in it, and that's about it.
Cyberpunk GTA that's mechanically like The Witcher.
This is going to come out. It's a damn kart
that's how
racer.
I feel.
That's the whole game.
Yeah. Elden Ring Elden Ring's a racing game. I've said it.
And they haven't showed us anything. It's a match 5.
I'll die.
Yeah.
I'll literally die.
What I think with Cyberpunk, or how I think it's going to end up, is I think it's going to be a very good game. It's going to review very, very well. And then a few months later, we're not going to be talking about it. I think this is going to be a flash in the pan.
Totally.
The reason I think that is it's releasing at a time when you've got both Microsoft and Sony who are going to be pushing out things out the door for their new consoles. And there's going to be a lot of trying to get attention. And I think for a game like Cyberpunk, which is designed, it's not going to be everything is day one with this game. I think it's going to be a lot of expansions, kind of like a Destiny 2 model. I think it's going to have a very dedicated fan base. It's going to have people like you, Zai, with Destiny 2, who like live and breathe it. I don't think that's going to be everyone. Okay, so, and I want this on record. I'm going to say it this way. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be Anthem if Anthem worked. That's how I'm.
How
What
good-
about the remake of
how
Anthem?
good
Isn't that
was
going to be
Anthem?
Anthem? Oh, okay, you guys, I'm gonna play.
How good?
I'll play you some gameplay
How good
of
would
it. You
Anthem
tell me
have
what you
been
guys think
if
of
it
it.
worked,
If Anthem was like a 9 out of 10, and I think that's where Cyberpunk is. What? Oh, you put Cyberpunk on. Okay.
If
Um,
Alex, if Anthem worked, man,
I would love to be wrong. I would absolutely love this to be the second coming of The Witcher. I think that would.
nice.
I think that's something the industry needs
I
right now.
love
I think
that
we need
title,
that
Alex.
game.
Save that somewhere. The second coming of the
The
Witcher.
second,
That was brilliant.
which is funny because the good Witcher game is the third one. Yeah, it's just a match 5. You just put up.
That's it. That's the game. We have no idea.
It's a game.
That's Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Cyberpunk. There's a lot of mystery about how Cyberpunk actually plays, which I think is unacceptable for a game of that size. And like to be fair, they've put out a lot of videos about it, but they've all been about like the world.
But
of
they're also
Cyberpunk
spread
not
out
so
and
much,
just
like-
so random. It's like I don't know what to
They're
expect.
all about like the world
Okay, here's
and
real.
the how the game is.
So one thing that's really interesting. So Cyberpunk chose December 10th as their new launch date,
December 10th.
which is a really interesting day. I don't know if this is on purpose or just how the things that line up. It's the same day as the Game Awards. Is that? But do you guys think that's on purpose, or am I reading too much into that?
Ooh. And they could have put it on December 8th on the Tuesday, 2 days before, or like the Monday or the Tuesday, the following Tuesday. That seems a
How
little
many people are going to take that Friday off? Like everyone on Earth is going to take that Friday off.
that seems extremely deliberate. It's coming out on an award ceremony. Totally.
Right. Yeah.
It's coming out on an award ceremony, man.
The game. So. So the gameplay you've put up on the screen actually is really interesting because it it's very indicative of a problem I think with Cyberpunk when comparing it to The Witcher is look how scripted this looks. Like Witcher was great because you could go anywhere and like it was everything was in engine and you just kind of like did what you wanted to do. This seems so like you have to go here, you have to go here, and I don't know, like that's why I keep thinking
Oh,
I just don't see this being an equivalent to The Witcher. I think this is a completely different idea, and we're just thinking like, oh, it has. Yeah.
Alex, I will argue that point. I when I played following playing The Witcher 3 and the 2 expansions, I went back and just like rewatched all the old content and media that didn't like the pre-release material, just about everything I could. You know, all the original trailers, because I played The Witcher 3 after the
Mhm.
hype or during the hype. Like I was told about The Witcher 3 being hype, but a lot of the footage in the pre-release trailer or in the content looked very scripted and was very different to how The Witcher was.
Hmm.
Compared to how it is now, it was a really different game. I noticed that as I was playing. So yeah, I think that while I don't think it's gonna show us that kind of like split in the world. In the pre-release like content for The Witcher 3, it showed a lot of scripted stuff. And look at the amount of like free play we ended up getting. So I feel like this is just kind of like a scripted moment for their trailers,
Maybe.
and
Yeah.
and by the time the game hits, it is going to get to that level of feeling.
All right. Well, we've talked about Cyberpunk for a whole bunch. We do have to move on.
Yes.
Hopefully the game is. Hopefully next week we're not talking about another delay for Cyberpunk.
God, please no.
Which I honestly don't think is impossible. But let's just leave it.
If they push this game into the next
so-
year, that's where I think people are going to start to have problems.
Mhm.
I really do.
So next topic, I want to talk about Halo Infinite, which is another big game which we should be playing. We should have been playing next week. I'm sorry to remind you, Zai. But it's been delayed, and since the delay, so back in July when they were really showing the game, everyone seemed really like hyped for it. Like, okay, maybe the gameplay they showed looked a little like definitely not finished, but the game looked hype. And then ever since then, it seems to have been nothing but bad news for Halo Infinite. And just recently, so last week, Chris Lee left the company. So he was one of the directors for the game. He's not even the first director, I believe. And then all this news comes out from 343 of the monetization in the game. So it sounds like they are thinking of selling you, or kind of like how Call of Duty does Warzone, where the multiplayer and the single player are just, they exist in different spheres now. And the multiplayer would be free to play with free to play mechanics. And a lot of people are like, okay, that's kind of becoming accepted. But now they're talking about like monetizing the colors of your armor. And not just like camouflage, but like, oh, like, you know, you want the purple camouflage, you got to pay more for that. You know, you want the red camouflage, you got to pay more for that. And you can, from what I could gather, obviously the game's not out, but from what I can gather, it's kind of like Destiny 2's model, where you could get everything in game, but it requires grinding basically. And these cosmetics were all things that were previously offered for free in Halo. If you wanted to be a purple Master Chief, you could be a purple Master Chief in multiplayer. So Halo Infinite, is the hype drying up? Is my question for the group today, I guess.
Yes, I'm gonna go with that. I don't feel like people are even talking about it anymore. I think that when it comes out, it'll probably build some hype, but I don't think there's hype for it as much. It being delayed, I think, was more of an issue because it was a launch title than it actually just being delayed because it was a good game.
That's funny. I bought some chips yesterday, some Doritos, and I got the Halo Infinite Doritos. And I'm like looking at the back of it, I'm like, I'm not going to be playing Halo Infinite. So I bought 2 bags of Doritos. One has Halo Infinite, and the other is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
They didn't change their marketing for those?
No, it's the bags are printed, the boxes are printed.
Yeah.
Like it's what it is. You can't just throw that stuff away.
That is absolutely hilarious.
Well, the Series X box, like the actual box the console comes in, on the back of it, it's all Halo Infinite. That was their launch game. That was their big thing. So, Zaya, what are your thoughts? I know Halo Infinite. You were Master Chief last week. I know Halo is a precious baby for you. What's your current state of thought with Halo?
I have no idea how they're gonna change Infinite into a Warzone's aesthetic with microtransactions and still follow the plot of Halo. And honestly, it's like a really, really big, confusing mess. I'm like, I thought the expectation of Halo was that it's going to be the Halo that returns to kind of the more traditional aesthetics of the game, but it's kind of going the whole free-to-play aesthetic that I'm not driving with, like a $70 title or $80.
Well, they did say it was going to be a 10-year project. Like Halo Infinite is Halo of the generation.
Exactly.
Not going to be making other ones.
So, what does making a 10-year-long Halo game look like?
They're giving it the Office 365 treatment, so this will be great.
It's just,
I think they're making Destiny 2. That's how I think Halo.
I feel like that's what everybody wants to do.
And calling it Halo.
I feel like they are, but Halo is. Destiny makes sense as a as a concept just because of the game and the story, and it all jives in a really dumb way, but doesn't really for Halo. Like Halo's a very story cinematic cutscene with like personal. It's one on one with the characters. It doesn't fit that like global offensive of like the Guardian Orders and the Titan Warlocks. And it's like just I don't know. I'm like really confused about what the game is, and if we could just get some more details, I think that would. Now that the microtransaction issue has been brought up, I think you should start telling us what this game is now, so that people can be like, okay, it's microtransactions for these reasons, But knowing nothing is really not helping anyone at 343 right now.
No. And there's a lot of confusion. Like I think you're hitting the nail on the head here. I think there's a lot of confusion about Halo, more than Cyberpunk.
Significantly more.
Halo Infinite. I think a lot of people, if you were to just said this is Halo 6, there are 10 missions. They take a million years to finish each. And there's a multiplayer mode, and it's super fun. A lot of people would have been like, "Cool, I like that."
Perfect.
It's not. It is not. Halo Infinite is a whole other beast entirely.
It doesn't seem to be doing that. Alex, thank you. That is exactly it. I want a 10-stage Halo mission that has takes a million years to finish. It's beautiful. It has multiplayer, maybe Forge and theater mode. Yeah, that's it. What is everything else that's being added here? I just want Halo 6. I don't want Halo Infinite. I just want Halo 6. Just condense that shit down, people. No?
It is good to see that Halo, the Master Chief Collection, is getting ported to Xbox One now, or Xbox Series X on day one.
God.
I think that's at least, that's a no-brainer. That should have been there regardless. I feel like it's almost like their apology for Halo not being there on day one. But at least Halo fans will have something to play on their new consoles on day one. So, but yeah, Halo Infinite is kind of like, it should have been out next week, and I'm sure they stopped talking about it once they delayed it. I feel like I don't know, what is the game? I almost feel like, because they showed that open world map and how you could go around to different places, I
kind of like that.
I'm almost convinced we're going to have crafting in this game.
What?
I honestly think they're gonna have something dumb like that, where you find a mineral pile. I can use these to craft a better bullets for my gun. I think they're gonna have something like that in the game.
Alex, I 100% think that's gonna happen.
They're just trying to make everything good.
So stupid.
They're gonna have something dumb in it, like crafting. In Halo, I like crafting in some games. In Halo, I don't want to do that. I want to shoot aliens.
It makes sense in Destiny. I go out, gather resources to craft gear and stuff. It doesn't make sense in Halo. I'm sorry.
How funny is it that we're talking about 343 turning Halo into Destiny when Bungie made Destiny? Makes Destiny.
They're just trying to get back what they used to have.
Then they should buy Bungie.
I think
they will.
Well, yeah.
Microsoft has infinite money and can buy anyone apparently. So
it's just I just don't care about this so much, and it's sad because I want to care because I used to love Halo, but everything you're saying is almost as a joke, but it's possible because it's
no, I think these are facts. This is the ripped from the headline.
But it's they could basically, they're just trying to do anything to see if it sticks at this point, because whatever they used to have that did stick really well is gone. They lost it. They didn't reward them enough with money and take care of them to make it stay and stick around, so they lost the good shit, and now they just try to use a name and try to. I think that's Microsoft to a T. They always do that. They're like, well, we're at something with a big name, and people, we're gonna get Rare. This will be great for us. And all of a sudden, nobody from Rare's there anymore. It's just the name Rare, and the games they make aren't very good. So you lost.
Sea of Thieves was great. I love Sea of Thieves.
Don't even get me started on that game. It's a good game. Fine. It's just not for me. I have friends that love it, and I keep trying to get into it, but it's so. it's not. I don't know. That's not what we're talking about though. So I'm not gonna go there.
No.
But
Think
Halo,
I think I'm
am not
still
even. I think I'm excited. The video I saw, I thought was cool. The visuals did seem to be a little rough. I don't know. That's all I got about that.
didn't have a problem with the trailer they showed. I didn't really complain too much about the visuals, even for some of the brute characters. I'm still gonna get this day one. I need to see what this is.
I think this is like Halo. I think Halo has lost its shine since Halo 3. I think Halo 3 was the high point for the series, not just from the game, not from a game point of view, but from it was the event. Like I remember the launch of Halo 3. And people were like in the streets, and like there was those people who like drove like the Warthog like in Times Square and whatever.
You
It was
remember
really,
the Warthog in Times Square?
Oh, I love that. I thought it was so cool.
Amazing.
But since then, I think Halo 3 was a good game. I think since then it's always been trying to find its footing though. It's trying because Halo was always billed as a trilogy. Finish the fight was the whole idea, and then it's kind of like Star Wars in that sense. How do you keep doing things once the story is over? You've wrapped it up. How do you keep building on it? So and you can't put Halo away. It's not like Microsoft could be like, I guess we're not making Halo games anymore. We finished the fight. Like that's leaving money on the table. They're never going to do that. But I think since Halo 3, they've been really struggling to find the direction for Halo. Do you remember there was an E3 where they said we are making the next Halo trilogy? Halo 6 isn't happening. We know that. At least not for 10 years. Halo 4 and 5, I don't think are very sequely. Like they stand alone in a lot of ways.
They do. I'll be, Alex, I think you said it exactly. This series is in a Star Wars prequels moment, except for it's actually going forward.
Don't insult my prequels. Okay, on stream, I'm going to say this: the prequels are my favorite part.
They are. They're the best. They have like all the government stuff. It's the most intriguing part.
Well, okay, so the prequels time.
I hate prequels because you know what's going to happen. It's like there's
not
no
the
mystery.
point.
I hate that it's like, well, I know where this is going to end up.
How
so
it happens.
It can't be anything.
The climax.
Yeah, but it can't be anything surprising. It's like if you made a prequel to Harry Potter and they show Harry Potter 1 around, you know he doesn't die in the prequel because he obviously lives and does all this great shit in the next movie. Like you can't kill anybody.
I don't want to get onto Star Wars because I think I just wanted to say, like, when I say the prequels, I mean the prequels era. So Clone Wars, Rebels, like everything before it. I think is amazing.
You're telling us and admitting to everyone that you think Jar Jar Binks is the coolest person alive, is what I think we just said.
I love Jar Jar.
Oh dear.
Bruh.
I don't know anything about Star Wars.
This call is being recorded for the internet. You could see. I didn't say that.
Anyway. I don't even know shit about Star Wars. I just know people hate that guy.
I feel I've talked to so many Halo fans who have only played Halo after Halo 3. So they came in Halo 4 and especially Halo 5. And a lot of them love the story at the time that it's being made. I feel like that's very similar to like the prequels in Star Wars where maybe it took a little after for them to get on board with it, but I know a lot of people who still enjoy the story even now with the like directional change. So it's
really hard for I think Halo, I think people want that magic to be like brought back of what Halo 1, 2, and 3 felt like, and it's sometimes lightning strikes once. Sometimes you can't get that feeling back, and you have to do something else. And I think Microsoft and Bungie and 343 have been trying to do that for a while, and it's
interesting that you mentioned Anthem earlier, and it's kind of like that. Like, is this game going to come out? And well, actually, it's a game that was going to come out, and then they're like, oh shit, we don't want to have like an Anthem thing on our hands here, and then they're like, let's just push this off because I don't even know what's going on with that game, because they just actually this past week they announced some stuff saying that is it. They just said it was like it was a UI update they had.
Why? Oh wow!
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
gonna
they
go
said.
download it right now for a UI.
I don't know. Everybody's hoping. Anyways, let's let that one go. I will stop complaining
All right.
about
All right.
games that I wish were better.
Games that I wish were better. That could be a good thing to either write or do a video on. All right. So last bit of news for the week. So actually, I feel like this is a bit more of a positive thing because I think a lot of the general reaction to the Nintendo Direct. Okay, the Nintendo Direct Mini Partner Showcase that happened earlier this week. It was a bit of a surprise. They just kind of put it up on YouTube. I think it was
I love when they do that.
pretty good overall. Have you guys watched it?
I didn't get a chance to. No.
There was.
What?
Excuse me. Go on. Sorry. I just yawned on camera. No, I was just say oh. I feel like I'm in a work call where I'll just talk at the same time. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, you go ahead. No, it's okay. Okay, I'm gonna just keep going. Just plow through. I thought it was very interesting. There was obviously stuff we're gonna talk about in 2 seconds, but it is a little bit. I am forgetting like everything that was in there because there were a few things I didn't actually know what they were. So now you can.
Good thing I have the list up. I will run through the list.
Run through.
Bravely Default 2 got a new trailer and a launch date. So it is coming out on February 26th of 2021.
I wish that was sooner.
Nice.
Whoa. I just blew my ears out clicking on a thing in the video, like the YouTube video for the trailer popped up. So Story of Seasons, what's that called? So anyway, a new Story of Seasons game is coming out for the Switch. So that's the real Harvest Moon games. Then we got whatever this game is. Sorry, I'm on Nintendo's website. I don't have the titles. I just have like the pictures of it. So Paradox is putting out a survival crafting game set in the post-apocalypse. Gods and Monsters got a new trailer for the Switch. It looks awful running on Switch.
So awful.
Don't get it right. Don't get it on Switch. It looks like a PS2 game. Get it on other consoles. Then the biggest surprises I think are that Hitman 3 and Control are coming to the Switch as cloud games. So you have to these are not, you're not buying the game, you are basically renting it and playing it through the cloud.
But it works.
So these are
it
looks like it works. Yeah.
No, I played it. I played Control for about 5 whole minutes.
You did?
Yeah, and how it
All
right now.
Put a pin in that.
Go on.
Put a pin in that. I want to come back to it.
Okay.
I'll just finish the rundown. Then No More Heroes 3 got officially pushed to 2021. We already knew this was already going to happen. But No More Heroes 1 and 2 are now out on Switch. They shadow dropped those 2 games. Part-Time UFO from HAL Laboratory. So the Kirby developers put out a new little game where you're a UFO and you help people. And Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity got a brand new trailer. It looks really cool. And a demo that was shadow dropped and is available on the eShop.
Yes, I heard about that.
So, Kevin, you played Control on the Switch. What was that like?
So, it was a lot more pleasant than I thought it would be. So you download it. It's free right now. You can play the entire game as far as I know.
It's the Ultimate Edition. It's everything.
Okay, so yeah, you get a ton of crap there. It's free. You download it. It's a very small download, and you open it up, and the game starts playing, and it streams, and it looks pretty good. I was playing on Wi-Fi because I don't have a Ethernet adapter for my Switch, but played it on my TV in my office, and it looked pretty good. I played for, like I said, about 5-8 minutes-ish, went through the very beginning area, and it looks great. It plays very low, didn't see like there was a lot of latency or anything where I feel like I wouldn't want to play it. If I didn't own this game on something else already, that would be a much more pleasurable experience just in general. I probably would actually play through this. So if you guys haven't tried it and don't have it, try it, because that game's good. And I don't know.
Control is a very, very good game.
I don't know if they're going to, what the plan is for this. Is this going to be something they're going to start charging for later? And that's the plan. Because I know I saw it was supposed to be like a trial to see how well this works with everybody. So,
yeah.
And I know,
glad it actually turned out well.
Yeah. And I'm this wouldn't be a bad thing. The problem is I'm oh, this would be good for travel. But if I'm traveling somewhere that I want to play it, I may not have good internet. Yeah. So then that's kind of the problem I have. But if you own a Switch and you don't have a great PC or even any other console but a Switch, this gives you an opportunity to play a game that's pretty good. I mean, it definitely playable. I mean, it works great.
It could never run on the Switch natively.
Right. No, it would be. It would look like ass. But I don't know. I'm just impressed. I would try it, you guys. It takes like 2 minutes to install. It's a very small file.
Yeah, it's really just a pass through to let you connect to their servers. That was the big announcement of the direct, was that Nintendo is doing this in North America. So in Japan, I don't know if you guys knew this, but they had done streaming games before there. So Resident Evil 7 and Assassin's Creed Odyssey are on Switch in Japan as streaming games. So
I really want to play Res 7.
It's very good. You should play it. It's still technically the Halloween season. It's a good time to play it.
Ooh.
But so the issue with those games, and like I watched a bunch of videos of them playing, is that unless you have really good internet, it's going to look like playing like kind of like a YouTube video at a hotel. Like it's this kind of like stuttering. But this, I think, is how Nintendo is planning for the next few years before they release whatever next gen thing they have, of staying relevant, because they could do any game on this. They're just turning the Switch into a screen, basically.
I wonder if this is. I keep secretly hoping, like, come on, Microsoft, get in there with Game Pass, start doing this on the Switch, because now I'm feeling good. If I can play some.
Game Pass could 100% come to the Switch.
Like if because xCloud has been really good, it's fine, but I just don't have a device to play it on that's great. Like if I could play it on the Switch and it's like a perfectly handheld acceptable thing, we golden. That's all I'm really looking for.
Yeah. I do worry, like, obviously these are not games you own, right? Like once they turn off the servers, it's gone, right?
GG,
so as someone who if you look behind me, I do care about owning
physical media.
Physical. I like to be able, if I want to go back and play Resident Evil 4 on GameCube, I have it. But it's there's, I don't know, it's interesting, and like I did download Control. I haven't had a chance yet to start it, but I do want to give it a shot on Switch. But I know, like, it's not like I own Control on Switch. It's that I have access to their servers and can play for as long as they stay up. But I think that's how Nintendo is going to do things going forward. I think that's how they're going to, like, for these big games that they want on the Switch, but obviously the Switch can't run them. They're just going to have you stream them from a server farm somewhere, which might actually be where Doom Eternal ends up. They announced Doom Eternal for Switch a million years ago. It's still not out. I think they're just going to do like it's a streaming game. I can see that happening now.
I could definitely see that happening too.
Which is, I mean, Doom Eternal is like, it's really fast paced, so like you better have good internet. Was there something else that stuck out to you guys from this direct?
No, just the demo of Age of Calamity is pretty nice. The what was the other thing that the No More Heroes stuff was kind of cool. I'm not. Yeah. I don't care about that, but I know that's exciting to some people.
I'm some people. Some people, that's me. I care about No More Heroes so much. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that was really good. It wasn't anything super like, oh my god, I can't wait, but it was nice to just have a little surprise when you wake up, and can't complain about that.
I thought so too. And like the last couple of these little like partnered Nintendo Directs, like it was the last one before this was the Monster Hunter one, which a lot of people were really hyped for because you got 2 brand new Monster Hunter games. That was pretty cool. But yeah, it seemed to be like kind of this. They did say it's the last one of the year, so it's kind of like they're putting a bow on things. They're wrapping it up. Nintendo has this every year. They kind of stop announcing things around like this time of year, around like early November, because it's like just buy what we have out, and we'll tell you what is next year's deal later in January. So I think we're at that point now where Nintendo's released everything they are going to release this year. And yeah, what about you, Zai? Is there anything from this direct that speaks to you?
I was like muttering the whole time, I swear, but I thought, stupid mic again. So I'm really excited that No More Heroes 3 is coming out next year, and I was defending you, Alex. I was like, I am also one of those people. No More Heroes is like always a game I've like watched playthrough of, but never played it just because I never had a Switch or a Wii.
It's so dumb. It's such a dumb
game. I love it so much.
Oh, so good. It's like this over the top.
I love that it's like, so over the top.
Oh, I love everything about it.
So I'm excited to see where that game is going. or coming now. That's gonna be soon, and it's nice that they have the Nintendo Direct kind of just exactly, Alex, putting a nice bow on it. All the games that are announced, they've already announced that are coming out for the rest of the year, and even some into early next year. I think it's nice that they gave us a little taste of like the next 8 month ish gap,
I think
or
we
maybe
know.
6 month ish.
I think for the Switch, we know everything up through February because February has Bravely Default now, and
Yep.
also Mario 3D World. We know that's in February, so we know a bit of like what next year is going to be. And like next year,
Exactly.
the big thing for next year is it's Zelda's 35th anniversary. It is going to be a Zelda heavy year. It's
Is
also
Breath of the
Metro.
Wild 2 coming out next year for
Yes,
sure?
I am. I mean, it's not announced, but I would put money on Breath of the Wild 2 being a next year game.
Yeah.
It's also Metroid's 35th anniversary, and they don't care. They're not going to do anything with Metroid.
No, they're not.
Sad.
They're
I
not
mean,
gonna do
to be
anything.
fair, Fire Emblem just got that 30th anniversary. Like they just put out a $6 game. I could see Metroid getting like, oh hey, Metroid, Super Metroid is getting a collector's box, like something like that. But other than that, I think that's Nintendo doesn't care about Metroid. I'm putting that out
I
there.
believe Fire Emblem is a 30-year-old franchise, and I've only really, really, really known about it since Brawl.
Well,
No, Melee.
Fire
Melee
Emblem.
because of Martha.
Yeah, Marth and Roy was the first time that Fire Emblem characters were in North America. So it's a 30-year-old franchise.
Oh, that
but
is right.
North America never got anything until the game.
That's right. That's right.
The first Fire Emblem game on Game Boy Advance, which is just for us, it's just called Fire Emblem, is really Fire Emblem 7, I think.
Holy crap.
So yeah, and so the game that we're getting in January or in December is Fire Emblem 1. We're getting a Fire Emblem, Shadow Dragon, and the Blade of Light.
Yeesh.
So I really like Fire Emblem. I should point that out. I don't know if the anime-ness behind me is there Fire Emblem on screen? I can't tell. Oh yeah,
I can't tell.
Right under my big head, there is a
Big
Fire Emblem.
head.
I see it.
Right there.
Yeah, I get it.
But over there's a Lucina one. There's another Lucina one. And those are the ones that are up. I definitely have more, but my wall's not finished. So.
I want to definitely get a Switch just so I can play some Fire Emblem games. Like, just as bad as I want Zelda.
Fire Emblem Three Houses is a very, very good Fire Emblem game. It is. Oh no! I almost want to say it's. I know purists will really hate this, but I think it might be the best Fire Emblem game.
I have not finished that game.
I haven't finished the DLC. I finished the main story. Well, I finished. There's four stories. There's 4 campaigns essentially.
Such a long franchise.
Yeah, no, Fire Emblem is really cool. It's really cool that they're getting that special edition too. It sucks that it's the special edition. Like it's a $6 game. If you want to just buy the game, it's $6 and you have it on your Switch. And then they put out a special edition that comes in like a big box and everything. And even then, it's just a download code. And I'm like, you couldn't have just given us a Switch cartridge. Like, why does it still have to be a download code? But I did get it pre-ordered, so I'm excited. I love
because I don't think I'll be playing that one.
Actually,
I am paying $50 for a $6 game. That is how it's going.
Wow.
But
Alex, you kill me, buddy. I'm so happy.
I love Fire Emblem. Anything else for the direct, or are we wrapping it up?
No.
I guess we're wrapping it up.
That's it.
Wrapping it up.
I'm out of drink, so I'm.
This is fun.
Running out of energy.
Yeah, you're all sleepy now with your fancy drinks.
I still got to eat something too after this, so I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Come over. We made spaghetti.
Ugh,
You too, Alex.
Good.
Oh, I'm full on lemon chicken. Remember, I had supper before the show. Yeah.
I can't even cross the board.
And with
to
my
get to
garlic
it if I
coke,
wanted.
apparently.
Wah.
All right. Well, so yeah, I'm going to right after this. I'm going to take a little break and kind of clear my head a bit, but then I'm going to go streaming Super Smash Bros. So if you want to stick to our YouTube channel, I'll be playing that for a little bit. Trying out Steve for the first time.
Steve.
Steve. I think it's gonna be fun. I already know it's a character. I'm gonna be like, how do I what am I doing? I don't know how to play. I have to build stuff. I don't build stuff in Smash Bros. I break stuff.
I break stuff. Wreck it.
Yeah, I'm going to wreck it. But yeah, so that does it for the show. So thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. This was episode 24. Well on our way to 8,000. That's our goal, 8,000 episodes. We'll see you in 10 years. So thanks for watching. You can find us on, obviously, YouTube, Spotify, but we're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure to like and subscribe on all those platforms. No, we're not on Mixer. No one's on Mixer anymore. Is Mixer still alive technically?
No, it's super dead. It's super dead.
Gone.
It is like it is gone.
We tried to get on there.
Fatality.
If you go to mixer.com, it takes you to Facebook Gaming.
Oh my god, that's even worse.
Wow. All right. Well, like us where you can. We're back every Sunday at 7, so we'll be back next. Guys, so I am already going to hype up next week's show.
Let's hype up next week's show.
Because we will have Xboxes and PlayStation 5s in our hands to talk about.
Wait, will we?
I will be able to. You know how I do show and tell? I didn't
Wait,
do it
no. Wait, hold up. No, that's the 8th
Should
is
be...
next Sunday.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought it came out...
They come out on Tuesday.
It's gonna be... Yeah.
Cut this part out.
I was like, wait a second. No, we won't.
I
2
was
days
like...
after that, we might, but...
Oh,
I thought I was wrong.
Oh, I'm so no, I'm embarrassed. I can't read a calendar.
Well, hype up, Alex, the week after that.
Yeah,
hype
the
up
following
that
week.
No,
yeah,
okay,
guys.
Next week. All right. No, check out next week's show. Next week's show is going to be amazing. We're only going to talk about old consoles no one cares about.
Should I?
We're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Wii U and the Atari 5200. We're going to talk about shit. No one gives a shit about.
That's actually.
I should do an unboxing video.
This is
I've
the
always
longest
liked when people did
outro
that.
in YouTube history. I'm ending it now. We're done.
All right.
This outro is like longer than
this
the
is
episode.
perfect because I need to.
Goodbye.
Pee.
I cannot read a calendar, and I'm very embarrassed. I'm blushing. I'm so embarrassed.
All right. Perfect. Bye, guys.